Wednesday. We are wizards, and today is a magical day that we call Wizard Wednesday. Channeling in with quantum style through the quantum downs, this is Elf.
And Dotta.
What's up? It's Bear.
What up, Bear?
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Welcome back, homie.
I'm alive.
Oh, that was a big trip.
Yeah,
I can't believe your energy levels.
I don't know what it is about me, but I've been referred to as a tank, as a bear tank.
Yep.
I just keep going. But I think I give the reason I think I can just keep going is because I just get so excited about what we're doing.
Damn
and then
right.
when I get into like a room full of people who are in the space, I just get so energized.
Damn
and
right.
I just get so excited. I never want it to stop.
Damn right. That's what I'm talking about. Bear, yeah. Today in the Discord, you said something like, "I'm so freaking excited about what we're building and where we're going." So can you just elaborate on that for a little bit?
I mean, yeah. Do you have like 5 hours? Are we extending the space a bit?
No. Condense it into 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, well, first off, and I'm not sure if I don't think I tweeted it. I think I put it in Magic Machine Discord. But the best like quote I got feedback from Wizards in New York last week was I forget who I was talking to, but I was talking to someone. They were like telling me about why they love Wizards, and they're like, you know what, dude? Like Wizards is the only project that I've never heard someone talk shit on.
Yep.
And by the way, that's like we should we should make some kind of sticker about that, because that is a badge of honor to have a project that people just inherently feel good about, like through the thick and the thin and the ups and the downs. I think is huge. But yeah, like it was again. We had a low key meetup with Wizards, and there were some new faces, some old faces. Just floored at the quality of person in the cult, and just meeting people who were in the cult and not in the cult at all of these sort of events. And I had a just ton of like meetings. Of course, I didn't go to the conference because who would go to a conference like that? But yeah, just the people this year, it felt like there was a lot of energy, right? And a lot of projects were having events, but it almost felt like the way ETH Denver felt. And I think I talked about that. It felt like the people who were there were just really there for the right reasons. Last year, it was about just showing up, and I think like even though like the crash had started or the bear had started, people were still just sort of there because things felt like up and to the right. Just felt like all the right people were there, and just so much positivity around not only the Wizards but like what everybody else is building. And it just feels like the concentration of people is just getting higher and higher in terms of who's here for the right reasons. But yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Met with a lot of partners that we're already doing stuff with. Met with even more people that we hope to be doing some stuff with. And of course, Jitsi was my wingman the entire week. I don't think there's a better wingman than Jitsi out in the world. Just fantastic to spend time with that guy. So thanks, Jitsi, for coming and hanging out.
Hell yeah, thanks for the compliment, dude. It was a blast. I had such a good time. As long as I have a drink in hand and a dance floor in front of me, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, I will say a little anecdote. We like went to a couple things. I think it was on Wednesday night, and then Jitsi fell asleep at the bar, and
I tapped out early,
and basically got kicked out of the bar. Not because he had drank so much. I think just because he was so tired. But we love you, Jitsi. You're amazing. You're the best.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, I just needed a nap, Next thing you know, dude's like, you can't be doing that. I'm like, well, we'll just call it early tonight then. It's a marathon, not a sprint, So it was good times in the story.
Yeah, that's great. And then so that was the summation. Went to Philly to do some stuff, and then went to Miami for some really fun meetings, and now I'm back. And yeah, I'm energized. I'm like all re-upped. I'm ready to go. I think it's just clear to me. I tweeted that. I think it's just clear to me now that not that it wasn't before, that we just have such an incredible group of people within Magic Machine and the cult. Last thing I'll say, I know I'm ranting. The last thing I'll say is I was in Miami with someone who's in the cult and someone who I have a ton of respect for, was like they're really big into punks, and he was talking about like why he believes in the punks, why he got a punk. And he was like, I don't know what it is, but he's like I get the same X factor that the punks have. He's like, I just feel like that's what the wizards have. And I think, a lot of really OG people, a lot of the biggest builders in the space are holders in the cult. And a lot of punks don't talk a lot, right? They're just there, they're sort of voyeurs, and we have a lot of that. And so I mean, gosh, to have that comparison just gives me goosebumps, and I'm here for it.
Damn right. Well, welcome back, Bear. We've got a big show today. We've got cult questions. We're gonna give a little 3D update. I'm gonna talk about the locations on the map. I want to give a BlackSand update, and I want to talk about the large lore model. And I really want to talk about some cult content because we didn't do it last week, and there were some really amazing pieces from last week. So who knows if we can get to that? But only time will tell. But let's jump right into cult questions. So the first thing is I want to make sure everybody knows about. Sharon has told me that her and O are going to do a world building discussion on April 24th. 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Central Time. So yeah, just wanted to make sure everybody is aware of that right off the bat. Okay, now for some questions. Let's see, there's so many. Where should I start? Castamere says, win some elf original Nosferatu art. The token itself is an elf original #1, but I think you're asking for more than that. Castamere, I would love to make another Nosferatu piece of artwork. Again, I love what you guys are doing with Lil Nas. So yeah, maybe when I get some time after 3D, I'll make one.
Well, I think even the 3D model is another one, right? You have the heads, I think, and even body modeled for Nosferatu already, don't you?
I sure do, and damn, it turned out nice. Yeah, but even beyond that, maybe I'll do one even beyond that. Okay, let's see. Bill Gaines is asking, do you know where Mega Moron Mart is on the map? I can't seem to find it. I said in the Discord, I think when they bulldozed Macwaziers, they built a Mega Moron Mart over it. I think it's probably at the base of the secret tower. That's sort of the way capitalism works. Is they don't hesitate to build their obnoxious eyesore franchises right near historical landmarks. You can see this happening all over the world, so that's where I would guess it is. And then Bill is also asking, what jobs would the founders have at Mega Moron Mart if they needed to work there? That's a really good question.
When I was a teenager, I worked at Toys R Us, and my favorite part of the job was assembling the bikes for people. People would buy bikes, and they came in a box. They didn't know how to build it, so I would build the bikes for them. And I think I would do that at Moron Mart too, if I got to choose.
I like that. Yeah, I think I would work in the back. I don't think I'd want to work in the front. I'm not really good with customers face to face. I think Bear, you'd probably be at the cash register.
I'm
working
at the
the front.
yeah. I'm definitely at the
Yeah.
register.
Selling the
Yeah.
chopstick.
I'm probably giving away free hot dogs or whatever we're selling. And yeah, and probably buying a lot of lottery tickets on my own and spending all my money.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think I'd rather mop the floors than do that. So I'll take floor cleaning duty. Okay, let's see what else. Sharon is asking me if I got my mecha pony fixed or if I'm still at the starting line. Yeah, so my pony had a little bit of a rough start in the Black Sands race, which I want to talk about later. But no, it's definitely got off the starting line, and it's definitely beating Bear's pony.
Well,
So
I'm rolling right now, so let's just calm down a little bit. And plus, by the way, all my treat boxes are in my ledger, my cold wallet, and I haven't had a chance to open that up. I didn't bring it with me, but I'm gonna open all of them, and I'm going to beat you. So
okay.
here we go.
Yeah, I did notice that you only fed your pony 2 treats, a popsicle and a watermelon, whereas I fed mine 3. But I don't think feeding yours an extra treat is really going to make a difference, Bear. Mine's just faster. That's all there is to it.
If you feed it the
okay.
treat, do you lose the treat? Like it's like burned, or is it just
I
can you
don't
throw all your
know.
treats at it?
I think you can keep using it unless you can't because Two Drews just said, "Don't think your treats are registering." So maybe it's because I already used them. I don't
I
know.
don't really know the rules of Black Sands pony racing.
Yeah, so it doesn't use your treats, but you can only use your treats like once per race. So you get 3 treats. So yeah, so you get 3 treats to use. Some treats give like actual special bonuses, and other treats are just like kind of generic treats, so they give like a generic true roll, I think. But yeah, you use them, and it doesn't actually like leave from your wallet or anything. It just kind of like you can't use it for the rest of the race, and you get 3 rolls. If you use 3 treats in one race, then you have to roll an indigestion roll because you may have overdone it, and then you may get negative points. So,
Oh no.
yep, but your treats are
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Yeah, Doda, to answer your question, like this is partly what I love about Black Sands is just how I don't want to use the word complex. What's a better word than complex? Just how
layered.
Yes, great. How layered all the data that goes into the races is. So, like, there are various variables that can affect your pony's standing in the race. One is treats. A lot of it has to do with roles that you do in Discord based around various events. But yeah, it's just a lot of things. And, okay, why don't I just dive into Black Sands right now? I don't know if you guys are aware, but if you haven't seen the Black Sands website lately, it is amazing. And probably one of the most amazing features now is they have like a live racetrack that actually shows you the ponies on the track and like their position. And right now, our good friend Ozzz is winning, and it looks like he's winning by quite a lot. So yeah, but just the live like the visual track uh, feed is just so freaking cool.
Yeah, it's like the mini map when you're playing like Mario Kart or something.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then like as you can see, like the ponies are racing like on the actual Runiverse map. Their first stop is Red Wizard Capital. And so yeah, I mean, I just love it so much. Like my dream is to someday like have actual 3D ponies that we can watch racing on the map. But just Black Sims has been great.
Hey, J Mander just posted a tweet from the Black Sand that has the rules. So if anybody wants to get involved here, I just pinned it up here. So yeah, you can roll daily commands. The Mecha Ponies have a RoboCharge command. And then weekly, they're treats, trains. Well, you can look at the tweet.
Yeah, it also integrates the Runes trading card game into it as well. Because if you play Runes trading card game, you can actually accrue like extra rolls for extra points during the match. So it's integrating interoperably with other Forgotten Runes projects. So it's really cool.
That's fun. Oh, so you get like a train, right? Train rolls happen if If you play
you
one
play
runes
runes
match,
twice.
you get 1 dice. If you play 2 matches, you get 3.
Right, and it's automated too, so it's not like you have to like ping anybody and say, "Hey, I just did some matches." It's registered in the back end. The teams work together so that when you do a runes match, it automatically goes into the bot, so it understands that you have an extra role.
That's fun.
I mean, who else is? I mean, where else are you going to see this kind of thing in a project?
Right, like I
mean,
don't see any other projects doing stuff like that.
This is unfucking believable. Legatus team, you're incredible. Love you.
No, it really is, and it's interoperable with other things, other projects that other cult members are building. And I don't know if you guys have looked lately, but the art channel in the BlackSand's Discord, new mounts are being created, and I looked at some of the recent ones. My God, they're gorgeous. Marco Fine has made some new ones. Wise Sam has made some new ones. They're just mind-blowing, some of the new mounts that are being created. I just love it so much. So yeah, and I'm beating Bear. So what more could I ask for?
Hey, just fucking relax for a second. I'm coming after you. I'm gonna spend all my money to beat you. I may be broke, but I'm gonna come ahead. We'll see.
Okay. And it looks like
there's a chart of which treats, how many boosts they give you. And so that's really good information for pulling ahead.
Yeah, I'm using all the tricks. Also, I'm not opposed to just sending ETH straight to Legatus to like just put me ahead in general.
So you're a cheater. Great. Thanks for admitting it.
Bill Gaines is saying that you talked about something that's not public. I assume it's like something like maybe mounts, or maybe I'm not. Exactly.
I think I wasn't supposed to say that other artists are making mounts.
Good job.
Yep. Don't let Elf talk about BlackSands anymore.
Next topic.
Next topic. Now that I ruined that one. Okay, let's see. Snoop Dogg is asking, did all the runes get created at the same time? So that's an interesting question. You might be asking if I created them all at the same time for the collection, which yes, I did. But you also might be asking from like a meta narrative perspective, like in the Runiverse where they all created at the same time. And to that, I would say probably not. I mean, it's the runes in the collection are just the accumulation of the entire world's history and mythology. So no, I mean, these runes are just like sort of pulled from the collective unconsciousness of human history. So the answer is yes and no. Let's see what else. I'm just looking through to see if I missed any. Wild Mage. Looks like you asked this a long time ago. There are only red and yellow cleric outfits among the wizards, but no other colors for other hats. What are the red and yellow clerics? Okay, he's basically asking if the red and yellow on the cleric outfit is connected to the hat color orders. I would say no, they are not. In regards to the cleric outfits, they are simply a fashion statement. They don't necessarily adhere to the hat color culture and politics. Okay, I think that's all the cult questions. Oh no, sorry, Tanya has one more. So yeah, this is a good one. Back to you, Bear. So you told us about your NYC experience, but can you elaborate on your Epic Games tweet?
What tweet? I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, so I figured out how to answer this question in a way that I'm allowed to talk about. So again, I normally don't like tweet things like that. I was just excited about a call that we got off of, but the reality is there was a lot of speculation based off of that tweet. And what I'll say is, for the Runiverse game, the most important thing, at least the thing that I'm concentrating on, is making sure that as many people know about this game and play this game as possible, right? Like this game is not just built for the people who are already in Web3 and own NFTs. It's for everybody. It's this proper video game being developed by a huge team of 40 or 50 people at this point. And the way we win is by onboarding, regular gamers that don't know about blockchain or don't own NFTs, don't have crypto wallets. And so what I would say is like, there's two stores, right? There's basically two main storefronts in video games, one's Steam and one's Epic. And so I'd say it's really it's about distribution and getting as many eyeballs as possible. And so hopefully that answers the question. There's going to be more coming soon, but it's really just about getting the rest of the world to pay attention to games that utilize blockchain, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yep. Agreed. I mean, I won't elaborate on Epic, but we talk about all the time about how the interoperability feature of Web3 is the thing that is really going to make it go exponential. And so as an NFT project, we see this as a critical path that we must take. And so this Epic handshake was just part of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing as a TV show, right? Like what are the biggest billboards in the world? How are the biggest entertainment brands and franchises built? Well, they make games and they make television shows and they make films. And so as everybody knows on the space, like that's really what we're concentrating on. So huge billboards.
Yep. I want to go back to BlackSands for just a second. Ozzz, if you want to come up and talk about BlackSands for a minute, please put it in a request because I know you've done a lot of work on it. So yeah, just whenever you're ready. Oh, there he is. Great. Connecting. And Ozzz, hello.
Hey, Alf. How's it going?
Hey, it's good. How you doing?
Doing fine. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, go for it.
No, yeah, a lot of work put into BlackSand, and I'm here representing Legatus because he just told me he won't be able to attend. Yeah. So I don't know. I probably should say thank you to everyone who is involved in BlackSand from the beginning, which is a long list, and I don't have everyone here, but should mention like Bill Gaines, Pleasures, Pedro M. Cunha, Drondin. I mean, it's a lot of people. And this Grand Tour idea started, Legatus just messaged me and said, like, man, it would be cool if we had a toad mount. And he sent me the ref of the illustration I did for Runes, the Runiverse Rush. And I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. And then he just spoke to Meadow, and everything happened like very fast. And it's really cool because it went like exponential in 1 or 2 weeks, and it was everything very smooth. Like, can we do a map? Oh, maybe we can do like a live racetrack, and everything just fits into place, you know? So yeah, it's been fun.
It certainly has been fun. I mean, just from my perspective, just watching it, see how much bigger it's getting week by week. And then, of course, I think the mount that I did is still out there somewhere. It hasn't been minted yet. But what I love is like the mount that I drew is so unimpressive and stupid compared to the ones that everybody else is doing. And I kind of love that. So well, I know that you've done a bunch of them, haven't you, Ozzz?
Yeah, I've done I think 3. But the cool thing is that like mostly everyone who is in that chat can just come up with a mount that they just, you know. So Feckless did this crazy mount. I cannot say much about it. I don't want to spoil it. But it's like, it's completely absurd and it's freaking scary. But it's like, you just do your thing, you know. It's very open. And then that's what I like about this this process of doing things for BlackSand. And yeah, And one important thing, the BlackSand is launching today the BlackSand Editions, which is a collection for I don't know, milestones, something like that. So
celebratory.
Yeah. That's it. Thank you. So the first one will be the artwork, the official artwork for the Grand Tour, which features me with the visuals and Leif Dojang with the music. So I'm not sure if it's up already, but it's going to be an open edition, and there will be some info later on.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thanks, Oz, and thanks for everything that you do in the cult.
Yeah. Come in.
And also, as a small note to that, big thanks to Legatus for bringing up the idea, because it's really cool. Along with visiting the different areas of the Runiverse, so all the areas that Oz drew on the map, we're planning on, for the Runiverse game, releasing small like snippets of concept art and some in-game assets that are going to be in those areas as we visit them. So actually just posted on the Runiverse account some Red Wizard assets. We have like some concept arts of the city, and also some assets of like how some of the in-game buildings and such look like. So you can check on the Runiverse Twitter account for that. And as they go through touring the different areas, there'll be more released from the Runiverse game as well. So big collaborative work between us today.
Man, I was talking the whole time and I was on mute.
I thought I got rugged. I was like,
I thought I got rugged. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I thought we got rugged. By the way, real fast, I just want to do a call out shout out to Belfort, who we got to hang out with in New York. Fantastic guy. Jitsi, I think, played as his ape in Dookie Dash. Anyway, just was a pleasure meeting him, and he's a good guy. So be friends with Belfort.
Here.
All right. Okay, let me move on to this next piece. Locations on the map. Just map in general. So over the weekend, I had the most fun that I've had in a long time. I finally had a chance to break away from 3D stuff for a minute and sit down and write descriptions for all the places on the map. I say all the places, but I really only have about 90% of them done, so it's still a work in progress. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of new information in the Wikipedia about locations on the map. And so, it's important because the intent behind these descriptions have been there from the day that I put them on the map. The meaning behind all these places on the map is actually really critical to the larger picture. Like, I didn't just make these up on the spot over the weekend. They've been there. The intent has been there from day one. They're there to just sort of explore an archetype, to create conflict, to seed stories. And I just wanted to be sure that the references to the history of myth and occult are there. There's a reason why the Blue Wizard Bastion is a bastion. There's a reason why it's adjacent to all these extremely magical areas. There's a reason the White Wizard Tower is in the Elysian Fields. Why Battle Mage Mountains sit between the Quantum Shadow and Chronomancer's Riviera. Why the Donut Atoll is named such. Why the Court of Chaos Magic is upstream from the Purple Wizard Pavilion. This is all designed with purpose and intent and I'm really glad that I finally had a chance to get that all out there. So yeah, it's still a little bit rough and still could use some cleanup. And some of the entries are pretty short, and they're going to be expanded upon, but some of them are pretty long. But yeah, I just really wanted to make sure I got all that stuff out there, because some of the more canon expressions, like the comic and the show, are built on these descriptions that I put in there. So yeah, so I really, really enjoyed doing it. And after 3D's totally done, I'm going to jump back in and do some more. But that actually is sort of a good segue into some AI experiments that Dotta has been playing with. Dotta, let me just tee you up. You tweeted over the weekend this phrase that I just loved: large lore model. And obviously that's a play on large language model. So yeah, I mean, why don't you go ahead and just sort of tell us what you've been up to?
Yeah. I actually call it the large lore machine.
Oh,
So
that's right. That's right. Yeah, even better.
Yeah. And well, so I've been thinking. So the AI and these like GPT agents, right, where you can basically give them a goal and they iterate towards that goal. I think maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, the last couple of weeks, was definitely kind of like striking fear into everyone's hearts because of just sort of the uncertainty that it introduced. And I think that like that sort of singularity is certainly on the future. But I think as we've all kind of been able to like kick the tires a little bit, one, I know that like getting more of a handle on what it is, what its limitations are, what it can do. Like I think all of our kind of like fears around it, sort of like turning everyone into paper clips, are like still going to happen eventually, but probably not from GPT-4, right? I think you're even starting to see Sam Altman start to talk about how like just throwing more data at it is probably not the issue. We probably need to have a bit more kind of improvements in the underlying algorithms to grow it to where it needs to be. So all that to say, I feel that the more that I kind of like just try to ride the Kali Yuga, as you like to say, the more I just try to like take this beast heads on, try to strap a saddle on it and like guide it where we want to go. One of the things that I find is that it's like extremely powerful, but it also still can be tamed and can be used in a way that's like useful to us. And so, I think one of my ideas basically is, so the core of this project is this idea of being a decentralized world building project, that we're going to create this world and IP that rivals these like established 20-year-old IPs like Harry Potter, or 50-year-old IPs like, Lord of the Rings. Actually, it's probably 70 years since then now. And that what we can do is, as a group, we all kind of build this world and we all like own it and develop it to a place that we want to be, that you can build on with freedom. And so I see these tools as really a way for our like tiny band of wizards to be able to blow it up into a world that's like much bigger than our size. I think that like what actually happens when you have kind of the lore machine helping you, well, it will be easier in the future for people to build out these kinds of worlds as these tools become more understood. But we actually have this moment of opportunity where what actually is now the limiting factor is this issue of like attention, right? And so you have something with Harry Potter where they have the attention. You have something with Lord of the Rings where they have the attention. But it's actually, the creativity is stifled by these like restrictive IPs of like the estate holders, right? The sort of the anchor of our project. And we basically have this kind of like little flame of attention with our crew and with the lore that we're building out, where so we can actually capture that, and we have an advantage versus projects that are going to just like do GPT generated lore insofar as we have real human generated curated anchors of lore, right? We have the map, we have the world, we have the book of lore. And so really what we've been able to do, what I've been playing with in particular the last couple of weeks on the side. We still have Goblin Town is going full steam ahead, but apart from that, these language tools, one of the things that we've been doing is figuring out how to help us like describe more locations in the map, right? We kind of like front load the language machine with the book of lore with Wikipedia, and we say, here are things that we know about what's happening, at the Obsidian City. Here are things that we know about what's happening in Aldo's Isle, and it'll actually find entries in the book of lore where people talk about a pirate that lives at Aldo's Isle, and then I'll say, okay, well, explain to me, like, given what you know, given everything we said, could you give me a description of like what the flora is like in Aldo's Isle? Can you talk about the fauna, the sounds, the smells, the items? Tell me about the inhabitants. Are there any legendary locations? Just describe the common objects that are lying around. So I've been posting some screenshots of these kinds of things, and it's not perfect, but one of the things I find is that it's very, very good. That it's this it's a tool that we can use to kind of build out the world faster than anyone thought possible. And also the key thing is in like a believable, charming way, because it's anchored in kind of the the lore that we've already written, which of course is concordant with the archetypes that are eternal. So, well, I'll stop there for a second.
Yeah, no, there's 1,000 things I could say about this. You hit on this idea that how these legacy companies own IPs, and they're, the structure is just totally different and sort of restrictive in many ways. And, what's beautiful about what we're doing is like everybody in our community is contributing to this large lore machine. And it's just yet another powerful way to contribute to the collaborative legendarium. You've got these Web 2 companies that have built billion-dollar franchises on data. Data is gold, but unlike Web 2 companies where they use data that you created and sell it back to you in the form of advertising, we are Web 3. So the data that you own and that you're contributing, it's leveling up characters that you own and building out a very rich and very deep world that we all sort of share ownership in. And so that's number one, just very exciting to me. Another thing that I sort of found myself in over the weekend, like as I was writing these location descriptions and then I was passing them to you and you were plugging them into the lore machine. It's just this beautiful dance that we always talk about between the magic and the machine. And it's the balance that's important.
Yeah.
It's been a sort of a guiding principle from day one, because we saw this in our generator. Most NFT projects, they would create all the art elements and then they would run them through the generator to mash them up for 10,000 combinations, and they'd be done. And they would say, "Don't our tokens look good?" And I would say, "No." And that's not how we did it. We made all of the art, and then we didn't just stop there and run them through the generator. We tagged all the art with affinities and like human art direction. Okay, and then we fed it to the generator with like human guidance, and that's why so many of our characters have more like color harmony and consistent themes, and we dubbed that affinity. We put the human magic into our machine, and so now we're doing this dance with the AI. It's like Dota's just not like letting the lore machine create descriptions for all of our locations. Like I'm coming in with like a heavy human centered description before it goes through the machine, because again, it's the balance between the two. If you lean too hard into magic and just pure creation, it feels a little chaotic and unwieldy and esoteric and inaccessible to a large audience. But if it's too much machine, it becomes boring and predictable and heartless and artless and cold and rigid. And so, it's all about the balance. When you find that perfect balance, you find something that's just limitless. So yeah, I mean, I could go on and on, but it's just like,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dotta.
For me, I feel like I have good taste, but I have a hard time. I have like a poor memory, And so I have a hard time kind of like sitting down to a blank page and describing, the Lake of Lanterns just like from my mind. And if I was going to, I might do a lot of research on other sources and my favorite books, and I would like make this big document, and then like I would kind of distill down what I want from there, right? And it's this like very long, laborious process. And with the lore machine, I'm able to actually say like, here's the idea of what I'm getting at. Here are the principles of what I want you to say. And then here's everything that we know from the book of lore already. And then can you give me some suggestions, right? And now it might give me a suggestion where I'm like, it says, oh, Kobold's Crossroad is this like lush, jungle area. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. Like, that's fine. I can just reject that. But I tell it how it's wrong. And it's almost like I have like a writer's room. You've been talking about this with Mid Journey and Stable Diffusion, that it's almost, you actually are like CEO of like everything, right? Like I'm not like the writer necessarily, but I am like in charge of this writer's room. And you talk about this with the Stable Diffusion, is that you're acting like an art director and you have this artist kind of under you. And it's really about how you can articulate to them.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's really just about using it in a way that optimizes for the best, most magical result. Something that also is occurring to me about AI is there's this concept from the Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. It's about the collective unconscious, and it's just this idea that every human being is born with an implicit understanding of universal archetypes. We all share a connection to each other based on these patterns of human experience. It's just something that we're born with. We don't learn it from our own regionalized culture. It's like encoded into our DNA. And these large language models, I feel like they're looking at that. They're looking at these archetypes and these patterns of human experience. It's not like they're just creating things out of their own ingenuity. They're learning from us.
Yeah.
And they're like feeding our own information back to us. It's like the machine is analyzing our magic like a good blue wizard would, and it's merging it into this powerful entity. And this might be a side point, but I'm hesitating to call it a tool. Like right now, it is a tool, but I suspect it's going to transcend its tool status at some point. But I don't know. That's sort of a side thing.
Well, the one,
Yeah.
just to butt in, I think something that I talk to the team about all the time is like, God, I wish I could press pause on time and just put Elf in a cabin so he can write like the 5 novels that we need to be able to sort of work off of and give to people. And so this is what's just so exciting, is it allows us, this tool, the way you're building it, Dotta, the way you're training it, allows us to scale to that point that gives us that sort of basis for not only us to work off of, not only sort of Derek to work off of for the television show scripts,
Yep.
for the game, for the comic books. It allows, it's like it just pushes us forward. And I feel like it's just like such a godsend. Our project was built to be able to leverage this large lore machine in a way that it's just so cohesive and speaks to exactly what we needed and lets us scale in a way that I don't think we could unless I really did have a pause button on life.
And one of the things about these LLMs is like, people say that they're just kind of like, one of the memes that's going around is that they just like predict the next token, right? You give them a sentence and they're just predicting the next token. And like, that is like kind of true. But one of the important things to know is that they really do learn this kind of like deep down meaning between words and groups of words. And that's part of the reason that's where the reasoning comes from, is like understanding not just like the likelihood of words and sentences, but actually establishing like relationships of meaning. And so what that means is we can actually teach it simply by using our words. And that's what you and everyone here can do, is that we're not planning on having AI mass generate a bunch of spam on the map or in the book of lore. No. Like, I think that we like protect the book of lore with something that like someone has at least approved as like a, cryptographically approved as like a token holder. And when you want to teach the large lore machine something, you literally just like write it down in the book of lore. And if you're like, well, it doesn't apply to my wizard, it applies to something that I think about the Runiverse, then you can write that in Wikipedia. Maybe eventually we get a book of maps and you can add things there, but that would be a bit farther out. But what I'm getting at is essentially is that like you don't have to like teach it facts in terms of like writing code. You literally just write down facts about how you see a certain place of the universe is, and then that is now known. That's like knowledge that's preserved for all generations, like both like children's like in like a genealogy, but also like generations through AI.
Dotta, have you fed it the comic book scripts yet?
No, I haven't, but you bring up basically a good point. I mean, I think that like really when I look at this, my plan is like step 1, train AI on everything about the Runiverse. And then step 2, we use it to create like books, comic books, graphic novels, merch, concepts anyway, and eventually videos, right? We're probably a year or at most 2 away from being able to generate like 3D objects with text. And so like all of these descriptions and stories that we have, right? It's a very short jump to turn these into screenplays and into movies and into like basically like works of media that people can enjoy. Because I think when you reach the kind of like age of infinite media, now again, the issue is this kind of attention, because there's like a Dunbar number, so to speak, of the number of projects you can pay attention to, the characters, storylines that you can follow. And we'll basically have a franchise that can kind of capitalize that as a group.
That's awesome.
Yep. This age of infinite media is coming upon us whether we want it or not. And I just think it's so beautiful that everything our community is creating and putting into the book of lore is contributing to this large lore machine in a way that sort of is leveraging a first mover advantage. Like, I think we've got the jump on it before, like not even just NFT projects, but just all media in general. This is the direction the world is heading. And it's just like, when any of you write in the book of lore, you're contributing to something massive. And there's just like another just very curious, amazing wrinkle in all of this, which is our project is based on the monomyth. It's based on like the original large lore machine. I didn't create these archetypes just from scratch out of whole cloth. They're pulled from a large human history of mythology and religions and spiritualism and mysticism and just literature and story and narratives. That is the original large lore machine. And so now we're applying like the technological large lore machine on top of the original large lore machine. It's like Forgotten Runes almost didn't create itself. It's been there all along. So it's just sort of like the meta media project of all time.
I mean, like to have this tool come out at this point in time while we're building this to like help. I mean, there's never been something like this to synthesize lore like this. I mean, it's just so perfect. It's so perfect. And Dotta, you were on it really quick, and we saw you tinkering and posting in dev chat. But it's just I can't. The quantum synchronicity is just absolutely off the charts here.
Truly uncanny. We've got 10 minutes left. I know we could all talk about this for an hour, but I really want to go over some cult content. Like, speaking of lore creation, there has been some amazing pieces in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to try to go through it quickly, but my speed is not an indication of quality necessarily. Like, each of these pieces are just so great. So anyway, we talked about BlackSand's. The grand tour is happening now. I mean, that alone deserves an entire Wizard Wednesday, but I'm just going to acknowledge it quickly right now. And Julian Tryhard is doing this really great video log of his BlackSand's observations. So yeah, I think Julian Tryhard might be a new cult member. So welcome, Julian. Emma made a really cute Fortnite Wizards parody, I think, based on your handshake tweet, Bear.
I love those posters so much. I love your posters, Emma.
Yeah,
I speak in movies, so for me, it's just perfection.
Super cool. And then Emma also did a really fun Snapchat, I guess, filter thing with the 3D head. Tad Major has been doing some really cool stuff with like running the pixel art through some AI generator. I'm not exactly sure his technique, but it's giving some like really cool like semi voxelized results. And I saw Tad made a really cool, I guess, short film with that today. But yeah, I mean, really cool experiments that Tad's been doing with that. Color Master posted just a beautiful piece. It sort of reminded me of like the golden era of Disney films, this like castle under a rainbow. Color Master has probably one of the most envious collections in all of Forgotten Runes, as far as I'm concerned. I love the Rainbow Wizards. Delta Mouse, one of the top lore builders in all of our community, has been doing some really cool image and lore combos lately. I'm talking video and still images with just really deep written lore. Chemical Imbalance did a really nice piece with Daniela Illustra of his Shroom Wizard. This latest piece I'm particularly fond of because it looks like I am in this piece as well as a cute little goat doll. Baron Sands, another master world builder, master lore builder, did this really cool piece. It looks like a sort of a zombie pharaoh walk cycle. Just a really beautiful character. Speaking of master builders, why Sam with two really great pieces. Bear, I can hear your keyboard clicking.
That's not me. That's someone else.
Is it Nalgene?
No, it's me. Sorry. Okay. I'll go on mute.
Okay, cool. Why Sam? Yeah, just two really great pieces this week. One of them is a fun Cowboy Bebop meme. And then speaking of more master world builders, Rune's TCG card game, which is just like a whole world unto itself. And it looks like they are having, let me make sure I get this correct, a core card set art raffle beginning on April 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So go to the Runes TCG Twitter page to find out more about that. And then I just want to give another shout out to Chemical Imbalance again for these really beautiful rugs that he's been making. Some of my favorite pieces of cult content that I've seen in a while. Not to go down this rabbit hole, but I think like in the age of infinite digital media, handcrafted boutique items I think are going to start becoming extremely valuable because it's one thing that the AI can't make is these just beautiful handcrafted objects. I think we're still at least 10 years away from that. So yeah, I love the rugs that Chemical Imbalance has been making.
Yeah, I love the rugs too, by the way. I think rugs are like my number one favorite NFT merch. And Chemical Balance sent me a rug that they'd made a few weeks ago, and I was like, that is amazing. Who did you order that from? And they were like, I just watched a YouTube video and I bought all the supplies because I wanted to do it. And I just love that. That's 100% something that I would do. That I love that kind of thing. And then he sent me a tweet today, a message that there's more rugs on the way getting sent to the Bearcave as a surprise. So we'll have to tweet out some pictures of those once we get there.
Yeah, when I first saw the rugs, I thought, oh, this is something right up Dotta's alley. He's gonna love this.
I love it so much.
Yep, super cool. Yeah, I actually have a whole thesis on how like the Sesame Street aesthetic is actually one of like the edgiest sort of aesthetics out there.
That's just good for me.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, let me rewind to last week because there was some really amazing stuff made last week. So I think we talked about the awesome video that TV made I just want to acknowledge that again. Like the Forgotten Runes sitcom parody thing.
Funny.
Beautiful. And then our very own Magus Wazir did this, what he calls the Forgotten Fashion Balenciaga cult.
Oh my God, that melted my face off of my skull. I'm not sure there's ever been anything that I've seen that has hit me. Like I watched it and I was like, I had to like watch it again. Like, I didn't even have a reaction the first time because it was so next level. I had to like rise above just to understand what Ozzz was doing. Unreal.
Yeah, well, I think like one of the best details. I'm not sure if everyone realizes this, but all the characters in the video are based on people at Magic Machine and some people in the cult. Like they're all like definite characters, like based on real life characters.
Well,
But
and
like, where does someone come up with an idea like that? That is like, if there was a left field idea, this is like 50 miles out from left field in God knows where. I mean, I'm in awe. I'm just in awe of Ozzz.
I
Thanks,
love
Ozzz.
the bear snake, especially how he's clean shaven and then has like the bedazzled bear hood. Oh, it's so funny.
I was like, is that Timothy Chalamet? I was like, it was so good. I'll never look that young ever, but gosh darn, thank you, Ozzz, for prompting that so perfectly.
Yeah, I'll tell you where it comes from, Bear. It comes from the mind of a dream master. Don't even question it. It's
you got to dream pretty hard if you're going to see.
It's beyond our comprehension.
The hairless bear.
Yeah. Okay, and then Ozma Bro did a really nice piece last week. Just this beautiful pixelated landscape called Muse in the River. Just a beautiful piece. One of my favorite pieces actually last week was from Zela Soul. He did a thread about the Chimera Beast, and it's so funny because like everything he wrote was pretty aligned with the way I think about the Chimera, especially in terms of like the Chimera's body parts having really powerful alchemical properties. You know, again, it's just like the cult constantly like creates lore, and it is often so aligned with the way I think about all the elements in the lore. You know, quantum synchronicity is something that we just can't get away from it, even if we tried. And it's probably because it's built on the monomyth. Tabitha of the Marsh did a really fun AR piece of his wizard dancing on the beach. Tabitha, we are going to give you a brand new model that some of the mistakes that I see are fixed. So I can't wait to get these new models out there. Speaking of 3D models, Derek, Battle Mage of the Grotto, has been using, you know, I'm not sure what this software is. It's like some 3D face tracking software with 3D models. We will get you 3D models as well. And, you know, I don't know if we should go down this rabbit hole, but we want to get the faces rigged as well someday. That's like a stretch goal for 3D models.
Yeah, we really want to do it. Dota is not really interested in doing it, but me and Alp have really been pushing on that.
That is a lie.
That's the opposite of the truth.
I've been asking for face rigs every day to the point of being very annoying. Sorry.
No, I feel like me and Nalgene have found like 3 different companies that said they're going to do it, and every single one has just fallen flat. Like either they stop replying to us. It's absurd, but we're gonna get.
Once they realize they have to do it 120 times, not one time.
Yeah. I think I scared them away.
Yeah. Okay, and then Artist last week did an art swap with YSAM the Viper in this really fun vintage rubber hose style. I think I said it before, but that's one of my all-time favorite art styles is the old like 1930s Fleischer animation style. Those cartoons are some of the best in history. Speaking of YSAM, he made this really fun piece. Well, I think it's a continuation of styles that he's been playing with. I guess it's Defaced Studio inspired. These like little fun cards that he's been making. And then Magus Devin has really been pushing the AI a lot, just getting a lot of different styles out of the machine. And so, yeah, there was a really fun piece from last week. Night Owl Birdman. Night Owl. I love your videos, bro. A hilarious piece called Zombie Daddy. Like, I don't know if this is based on a song that's already out there. But just Night Owl Birdman is so freaking funny. The videos that he makes. It's it's just freaking funny. I don't know what else to say about it. But
I
it's
feel
so
like we
good.
need to. I feel like we need to get Night Owl Birdman their own show on Adult Swim. I think those
Yes.
that like pairing together, I think would be next level because that's where
For
Birdman's
sure.
at. Birdman's
For
on
sure.
I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. I mean, Adult Swim. Apparently, some alpha. Apparently, HBO Max, which is the streaming service that owns Turner, which means they own Adult Swim. They're like not even. They're like kind of giving up on Adult Swim, which is just so sad. I mean, Adult Swim spawned some of like the best animation and creators. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent, but that's where we're gonna relaunch Adult Swim with Night Owl Birdman.
You heard it. You heard it. Night Owl. Bear said he's going to do it, so hold him to it.
DM me.
Yeah. And let's see. I think maybe. Okay, I'm just looking through. Cosmic Birds. Just I guess last week was Easter. These adorable little painted eggs based on eggs from the Athenaeum. That was in the Cult Chronicle last week. I think we talked about
Merlin teased season 2 of Forgotten Worlds, this time with Soul.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And then Cabinet of Curiosities is going forward with Conjure Atlanta of the Brambles. That story continues. That is a project by VMark, who is an just amazing builder in our cult. And I think that is it.
Well, and I want to especially give a massive shout out to Tanya Del Rio, the editor, artist of the Cult Chronicle. Tanya, I mean, putting this together every week, I know is a labor of love, and I enjoy reading it every week. We, of course, read it up here on Wizard Wednesday. So thank you so much for doing that.
Agreed.
Tanya #1.
Yep. Okay, we are over time. So any last words from anybody?
God, that went so fast. How was it already an hour?
Yep.
All right, well, I have no more words except I'm happy to be home at my workstation. Yeah, let's everybody stay magic.
Dotta, last words?
Stay magic.
This has been Elf, Dotta, Bearsnake, Matatsuki, Jitsi, Ozma Bro, and all the ponies of BlackSand and all the wizards of Forgotten Runes, channeling out from the Quantum Downs. GN, everybody.